Well, Dragon Folk, I think it's time we take a look at the serialized cards that came in the Brothers War and really take a deep dive into what this might mean for the future of serialized cards in Magic the Gathering. Welcome on in, Dragon Folk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know I am. Welcome to the new year. Hopefully, we are going to be stepping off on the right foot, making some awesome little additions to the channel here as we go on. And again, I'm always thankful to have you here. But today, we're here to talk about what your wallet can do for you. That's right. Well, obviously, everybody is still very upset at Wizards of the Coast. Doesn't want to send any money towards Wizards, which is fine. But serialized cards, you don't have to buy those from Wizards. These are all bought from online sellers who are either LGSs or maybe you even have one at your local LGS that you'd like to pick one up. We're talking about the serialized cards from the Brothers War. Now, I know a lot of people were very skeptical when this all first came out because, well, there are 500 of each artifact that were printed in a serialized form, and there are 63 artifacts total in the set. This, of course, leads us with a number of 31,500 serialized retro schematic artifacts that are in collector boosters for the Brothers War. Now, 31,000 is, it seems like a pretty high number. It is still fairly low in most terms, but more specifically, it's not really like Black Lotus low. You know what I mean? Black Lotus has not a lot of... It's printed, I think, like under 1,000 for the alpha version or something, or right around... Yeah, no, I think it was under 1,000 if I recall correctly for the alpha. Correct me in the comments. But these are different in the sense that you have a wide variety of serialized cards to find in the Brothers War. Now, what that means for you as a collector is all dependent on what you want to do with it now, right? Obviously, this is much like this is just much like anything, right? You're taking a risk as a collector or possible investor into something like the first set of serialized cards, not including the Viscera Seer that came in the Praetor All Will Be One thing, which is funny because I feel like that was a foreshadowing, right? They put a serialized card inside a Phyrexian Praetor set, and now we have serialized cards in the Brothers War, which is like the precursor to going to Phyrexia. So, kind of an interesting thing. But overall, these cards are holding pretty good in value. Some of them more than others, right? Obviously, you have a lot of the mythics that are going for much more than the uncommons would, but the uncommons are even going for a decent amount. I mean, pulling an uncommon, I don't know, Elsewhere Flask, that is still going to net you about, I think like it was like $300. My bad. An Elsewhere Flask is right around $175, which is still pretty good for a serialized card. I mean, obviously, something like an Elsewhere Flask is not like the best artifact you can get out of here, but it is a serialized version of itself at the end of the day. I think there's been a lot of controversy with these serialized cards, though, for sure. A lot of people are upset because it's the same art that you would find on any of the other schematics that are mass put into this set, along with the other retro artifacts. The art is essentially the same. The only thing that differentiates the serialized number card and a schematic card is the serialized number on the card. And therefore, to many collectors, it seems, the chase isn't all there, right? I think they're happy if they pull it, but I don't think many people are chasing after it. You know what I mean? And I think in a way, this is kind of along the lines of the Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. That is obviously a very rare card to find in its neon ink forms, obviously the blue and the green being easier to find than the red, and the red going for well over $1,000 right now. But is the card good, right? I mean, you got this is where like there's a weird difference that a lot of people aren't trying to figure out. It's that there's good cards and then there's nostalgia. And I don't think anybody who believes a card is just genuinely going to be good is also going to be playing it if it's a collector item, right? Nobody is going to be playing the Neon Red Hitotsugu in their deck, even if it was like a really good card. I don't think anybody would be doing that. If you are, please seek help because, oh, wow, do you like playing with fire? But I think overall, this is kind of the same concept, right? $175 for an Elsewhere flask. If you as a player wanted to purchase it, you can purchase it for, its going price right now of like 15 cents or something. So I don't know why you would be excited to pull one and then sleeve it and put it into a deck. So the playability of the card is not important here when looking at a serialized card. What you're looking at is two things, right? Rarity and nostalgia. So a lot of people can get uncommon serialized cards. There's probably more of them out there in the world right now than there are rares and mythics, which means that the mythics, such as Mox Amber and Ramos Dragon Engine, which are going for almost $1,000 plus in their serialized forms, not only are those two cards just genuinely good cards in the world of Magic, but I think most people know what they do, and there's that nostalgia factor to them, right? Of Mox Amber and Ramos. You know, Ramos is a key staple in 5-color dragons, that commander deck, 5-color dragons, as well as many other things. So there are definitely a lot of different aspects you can look at collector cards like this, but at the end of the day, these are collector pieces. Now, I'm not too sure how well they've aged over time, but what we are seeing is we're seeing not even a ton of them hit the market right now. There are quite a few of them. There are maybe like 3, anywhere between like 2 to 5 listings of these serialized cards on TCGPlayer per card. So if that goes to show how hard it is going to be to find these things, then that is quite difficult. I think overall, though, from a collector standpoint, getting one of each card in a serialized variant could be good. You know, if you're the person going out there looking for every 69 out of 500, serialized card, then that is going to be a hassle for you. You're probably going to end up paying more money simply because of the number alone, but you'll have a pretty nice collection, and you can consider that a great starting point. But it does further show that there is a decent amount of chase. I mean, obviously in this set, you also have like the Transformers cards, the Shattered Glass foil Transformers. Those guys are also pulled at the just about the same rate, I would imagine, as the serialized schematic, artifacts. So overall, with 2 chases in there, both of them are doing pretty well. I mean, the entire set, and we'll go over this again when we do a master set collection video for the Brothers War, but a full collection of the foil Transformers cards, including the non-Shattered Glass versions of them, those all together will cost you about $5,300. So that is a lot, and these prices are going to just stagger over time, right? I would like to go and look over this data in like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, and see what serialized cards have done. But I am going to stick by what I am true to, right? Do I think I want to buy one? Sure. I'd probably want to pick my like favorite artifact and then buy it. Something like Ramos Dragon Engine or Altar of Dementia, maybe even, I don't know. There's some other ones there, I'm sure, that I have to look into. But those ones all, if it holds a near and dear place to your heart, getting it serialized is going to be great, right? More importantly, if it's got a nostalgia factor and a lot of people know about the card, then having one is going to be amazing. I just think that these are going to do well in the future. And obviously, you can timestamp this video on when I say it and where I say it, but I stand by it. I stand by that these serialized cards are going to do well, regardless of the fact that there's 500 of each one printed. we all have to remember that the odds of all 500 of a single artifact hitting the market are so incredibly low, especially right now at a time where players don't want to buy boxes. They'd rather buy single packs, or maybe they just not buy anything at all and they just want to buy singles. There's not oftentimes people are cracking a ton of boxes. I mean, even we were going over, on Twiddler's Place, a channel that I am very fond of. You can go check him out. I'll leave his link in the description down below. He had done a game recently where he had opened, I mean, I don't even know, well over 3-4 cases, I think, of Brothers War collector boxes, and got a serialized card. One serialized card. And that is a lot. That's really, really rare. I don't think most of us who are already complaining about price points at Wizards of the Coast's end, and people who are complaining about cards being too expensive and not being able to afford 4 Shieldreds for their Rakdos mid-range deck, you're probably not buying cases upon cases of the Brothers War collector boxes. I don't even think most LGSs are doing that, because unless they have a side gig where they're hiring people out to open boxes, crack them, sort them, and post them online, then there's no point for them to do that. You have to buy a lot of product in order for it to margin itself out, because a lot of the other product in the Brothers War is not that expensive. I mean, you've got some $20 cards here, some like $30, $35 cards here, but it's not enough to make up for the box. Now, to be fair, the box prices are dropping. I believe the last time I checked, a collector's box of the Brothers War was going for about $219, I want to say. I'll leave a little graphic up here. About $219, which is kind of getting down there. This is right around the same time where I realized that the Dominaria United collector boxes were also dropping in value. And just look recently, right? We just had an Amazon sale over the last week, essentially. Pretty much, yeah, over the holiday week, where Dominaria United collector boxes were on sale for $152 a piece. And that's pretty low considering there are Legends cards strewn throughout those. Again, another chase, but it is very, very interesting that, at the end of the day, Wizards is trying to make their profit, and they're pushing product on Amazon to make said profit, but the players are getting a ton of profit off of this. Because if you're getting collector boxes at $152 a piece, you can get some of those really shiny, flashy new cards that came out in their cool variants. Let's say you're 15 years old and you don't care about anything besides shiny stuff and what the cool things are, and I don't know, what do 15-year-olds do? Like that. That is enough for somebody to be like, oh yeah, sure, Timmy, I'll buy a box of Dominaria United. It's the new set that just came out. It's got a card you want that's in it. I'll get you a box for $152, $170. That's really good for the player, right? I'll get into Amazon's thing in a different video, but I mainly wanted to just touch on to the Brothers War retro frame artifact, serialized, numbered card schematics, whatever the heck they're going to call them. They call them these days. But I think we have a very, very good understanding, right? The serialized cards for Viscera Seer are doing pretty well, and those are only at 100 apiece. And while I agree that I think that all of these retro artifacts would be priced higher if there were only 100 copies of each serialized card, but, I don't work at Wizards, so I don't get to make those rules, I guess. But overall, I still think that there is that chase. I mean, you open up a box of Brothers War and you get a serialized card, you still pretty much pay for the box. I think even the uncommon ones, you pay for the box. But if you want my personal opinion, just keep them, okay? All the effort, all the hassle, all the stress about making sure that your package is going to arrive to an individual, and that individual is not going to try and scam you out of your money for a refund. If you are not in the business of selling cards, don't sell your serialized card. I don't care how much money it's worth. I don't care that you can buy, 3 new AAA video games for the price of one freaking, one card. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. You can hold on to that, keep it in a hard case. Hell, if you've really got the money, you can send it out to PSA or Beckett, and you can go ahead and get it graded. And if you get it graded, you already know there are only 500 of them available. And if this one, even if it gets graded at a low rate, it's still confirmed that it's one of the 500. So this kind of solidifies its place. What I'm saying is just keep it safe, okay? Keep it secret, keep it safe, as Gandalf would say. So just be prepared, right? You may run into one of these things when you're opening boxes of the Brothers War, but overall, don't chase for it if you don't have the funds to. Let your LGS chase for it, or let some other big high roller chase for it, and then when they want to sell it instead of keeping it, you can go ahead and buy it. If you feel like you need to have one right now, go out, find your favorite, see if they have one available, check eBay, check Card Kingdom, check TCGPlayer, check everywhere. Check your local Facebook groups, check everywhere. See who has something available that you want, and then go ahead and buy one. Okay? From a budget person, from me to you, buy one, right? It's going to be so much easier on your own wallet, and you can go ahead and just end it there. Of course, if you're buying like a Ramos or a Mox Amber is going for like $1,600 right now. So, yeah, kind of, it's a lot of money to drop on cardboard. But again, we'll double check this sometime in maybe March and see where the serialized card gang has gone, and kind of get a better understanding of that. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about serialized cards. Are you on the train that you think that they printed too many of them? Do you feel like they're not really all that special other than the fact that they're serialized? Maybe you love them and you really, really want to collect at least one number of every single one of them. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. While you're down there, make sure to like the video. Also subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. We do also have a Patreon link in the description down below, as well as an additional thing for channel memberships, I believe, somewhere down in the video thing there. So if you wish to support the channel in a more monetary sense, that is absolutely amazing, and you truly are doing a great service to the channel, but it is not necessary. So thank you all so much for watching. I do really appreciate your support, and I will see you all very soon. Nerd out.